In this video, we're going to show you how to replace your power steering pressure hose on your Dodge Ram located at the bottom side of your power steering pump. Using our 7/8 socket, we're going to head loosen and remove our lug nuts. Now that we have the lug nuts removed, let's go ahead and loosen, remove the wheel, and set that aside. Now we're going to go ahead and use a handheld vacuum pump, and we're going to open up our reservoir, pop the cap off, set the cap aside. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pull out the power steering fluid. Now what we're going to do is we're going to continue to do this until our reservoir is empty. You can go ahead and put that into a bucket. Once the tank is empty, go ahead and install your power steering reservoir cap. On the bottom side of your power steering pump right here is the pressure line. We're going to use our 16mm wrench. We're going to loosen that nut. Now you are going to have power steering fluid come out of this here, even after we evacuated the reservoir of the fluid. You probably have some residual in the lines itself. So you want to go ahead and have a catch can or your bucket underneath to go ahead and catch that fluid. Now at this point here, once we have the hard line disconnected, I want to go ahead and separate the pressure switch right here, this little connector. So we're going to press in on the little tab, remove the harness. Now with the driver's side front wheel removed, we're going to go ahead and reach in and we're going to access the nut for the high pressure line to our steering rackets right here. We're going to go ahead and use our 18mm wrench and we're going to access it through here to loosen this knot. So if you grab the hose and wiggle it now, you might be able to actually loosen the nut the rest of the way. Here we go. Spin that off. Have your drain bucket underneath. It should still be there from before. Using our 22mm wrench, we're going to go ahead and loosen and remove our power steering pressure sensor here. Inspect the O-ring on the back side here. Make sure that that O-ring is still usable. If it is marked up or damaged, you either want to replace the sensor or replace the O-ring if you have access to one of those. Go ahead and take the sensor, and we're going to go ahead and get that started. Thread that all the way down by hand. And go ahead and snug that down. Now on both ends of the line here, we want to go ahead and install the O-rings. So gently pop that on, push that down. We're going to do it to this side here, as well as this end here. Before installing, we are going to take a little bit of power steering fluid and put it on the O-ring. That's going to help with our sealing and setting of these seals. Now go ahead and take the line, fit this down inside. You want to always get these
started by hand first. So you're just going to kind of wiggle that hose a little bit. And you'll find a sweet spot there where that nut will line right up, and you'll be able to start threading that in. Now, because of the lack of access through here to go ahead and just kind of get in there and tighten it down quick, it's going to be best if you can spin this down as far as you can by hand and then finish off by tightening it, accessing it through that driver's side wheel well. Then once that bolt tightens down, you feel it seat, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little bit more. It doesn't have to be a whole quarter turn, but you'll definitely feel that get harder to tighten down. You wanna give that a little extra, and then you're all set with this here. Let's go ahead and get the hard line threaded into place here. Once you have this threaded into the pump, go ahead and use your 17mm wrench. And go ahead and snug that down. Now once that nut is seated, I'm gonna go ahead and give that a little extra. You just wanna make sure that that is seated pretty tight, but you don't wanna make it super, super tight, but you'll feel it stop. Go ahead and take your pressure sensor harness. Go ahead and line that up. You'll feel it and hear that click into place. We're gonna go ahead and fill up our power steering system here. So go ahead and twist off that cap. On here, it's gonna have a full hot and an add. So we're gonna go ahead and add fluid to this here. Use a funnel. You wanna make sure that's nice and clean. Use the recommended power steering fluid for the model application. Now what you want to do is just kind of eyeball, look inside there. You don't want to fill this up to the top because this dipstick here is going to go in and give you your level readings. So one side has a full cold and add, the other side is a full hot and add. We're going to use the full cold. Go ahead and twist that in, twist it out. Then you want to go ahead and check that level on there. Full cold, we could go ahead and add some fluid to this here. Let's go ahead and drop your funnel back in and add a little bit more. Be sure to clean off your dipstick. And then go ahead and do that again. You're just going to continue to do this until you get the appropriate reading. We are at the full cold mark, so we're going to go ahead and secure that, twist that on. At this point here, what you want to do is go ahead and, with the vehicle front wheels off the ground, go ahead and start up the vehicle. Crank that steering wheel left and right. You want to make sure that you get any air bubbles out of the system. At that point there, go ahead and put your wheels back on, if you did remove them, and go ahead and drive the vehicle, give it a test run, come back and check that fluid. Go ahead and
and set your wheel back on. Let's go ahead and get all of our lug nuts started by hand. Once we have all these on, we're going to go ahead and snug them down. Let's go ahead and torque down our lug nuts to 135 foot-pounds.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.